Got the blocks laid out roughly where they're gonna go. So this is a 16 by 40, not as much room as I wanted. So 5, 10, 8, 16, 32, 40, yeah. 16 by 40. So not as much room as I wanted. The permanent one is going to be a 24 by 40, so it's going to be another 8 feet this way, but that's going over there. I'll show you that spot in a minute. But this is how it's going to work. I'm going to figure out the highest spot, well, the lowest spot in the highest corner, and go from there, because what I need is roughly 2 feet, the highest point, so I can get enough vertical height in the front to clear the garage opening and to have it level. So 2 feet from the top of the 4x4 post, that's going to go right in the center of this block, to the bottom of the lowest 4x6 beam. I might go the 4x6 beam on the bottom on this side, on the end, and then have the 4x6 sit on top of that from this corner and go down that way, or the other way around. The 4x6 on this, the 4x6 stay like here or over there on top of the 4x4s. Bottom of that might be 2 feet off the ground at this highest point. It's down there, that's the lowest part. So that'll help when we pull the camper out. Or I could just dismantle it, one of the two. But everything's going to be reused here. So the plan is to have the post 2 feet minus the height of the block once it's all level. Figure out where the highest spot is, and level everything off of that. Get one section square, well, perfectly straight, maybe like square up that corner, then reference everything else off of that. Yeah, so once you figure out exactly which one's the highest, maybe they can level it out some, but that's the plan. A short 4x4 post here. I got the 4x6s over there. Some of those logs will make 2 of them, so they're not going to be structural, so I can cut 2 of them out of each log. I don't need to keep it centered with the pith, and if they warp and twist a little bit, they'll be fine, because they're just getting nailed up right away anyway. Then putting in making a 2x4 rough cut lumber, and going to be putting the walls on top of that, and then putting in windows and stuff for light. That'll be the temporary garage. Of course, I have to get a $50 permission slip from the county. I could do that just to be on the safe side. And then I'll show you around what else I did today. But the main thing is got the mower running. Well, it always was running, just got the belt on. Got everything mowed, including the stuff out in the back. And out in the front and everything. That took like 3-4 hours to do. So yeah, it's a big job when you go to mow everything and you have a mowed for a few months. Some of that stuff I have a mowed for like 3 months, and it still didn't need mowing because it grew that little. Or maybe I zipped it off and forgot about it. But yeah, so this grass didn't grow that much. I mowed the hayfield out in the front just so it looks nice. And I'll take you over to the show you how well the driveway did holding up driving this truck. Yeah, go ahead, laugh at Swift, but I get paid pretty decent, so I'm gonna hear some Swift jokes from certain people, but oh well. Hey, here is going to be the permanent garage. Yeah, it seems kind of dorky in its location, but the power line was going to be, oh, it's probably 75-80 feet that way. So having it the power line come to close to here, that tree to that tree is roughly 32 feet or 40-ish feet. I could take out a couple of trees and gain some more room, but I have enough room where I could put in a 32 by 50. That would be a little bigger. The plan was to only go 40 foot, but after seeing how little clearance there is behind that, I'm probably going to go bigger. Definitely going 24 foot wide so I can have more room, but I might go 50. Or go 48. I like dealing in eighths when it comes to building, so I might do 48 by 20. I'll do 48 by 24. So yeah, or 30, and then have one big huge door. I may have to cut these back down for clearance for the building. But still, what's going to happen is I'm going to do. I'd have to check to see if it's for code if I have to put down footers for the garage, but it'll be at least a 12 by 12 inch footer all the way around, and then have at least a 1 foot stem wall to raise the sill plate at least off the ground enough so it doesn't get splash heads above the slab. So you're going to have a 12 by 12 footer, and then a 5 or maybe go with a 6-inch slab. It'll later be used as a metal working shop, so who knows, having a forklift in there. So 5 to 6 inch slab, all rebarred with at least a 1 foot stem wall all the way around. Then where you need to, especially in the back, that's probably going to be a 2 to 3 foot stem wall back there. And you see that's a pretty good rise. This was cut down, or more or less leveled out from here. There's remnants of a stump right there. That was cut into that, cut down the rough level it, but when you get in here with the skid steer or something to really fine tune level it, I might pay to have someone precision grade it. Not quite sure yet, but that's the plan, is to put that over here. And some people wondering, why aren't you running the power line straight through the woods? The main thing is the power company needs access to the line if anything goes wrong with it and need to work on it. So, you know, I could save a ton of money by going straight through the trees, but then I'd have to clear out a regular driveway. With a regular driveway, then they have easy access to that power line, and that's why I'm going to have it trenched out and come along here. Otherwise, you know, the utility poles are closer to, you know, roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about the 6th or 7th row in. I don't want to cut down that many trees and grade all that just to get power back here. Besides, that would ruin privacy, and it's a little more privacy here, but you know, you can see the utility poles from here right in the roughly center screen. If I could zoom in, let's see. Yeah, you can see that. Those little gray sticks, that's the power lines. Oh, that's getting close to 600 feet off the road. Maybe right here, it's about the corner of the woods here. That's about 500 feet maybe. So if I cut 100, 75, 80 feet off, that'll get me under $6,000, because, like I said, another 80 feet that way, that's like $6,500. And you still got to get the meter and a pedestal mount, or if I'll have to check for code if I can have it mounted. If I put it in a permanent garage, if I can have the power line connected directly into that, then the house is going to go somewhere over there. If I were to make this garage attachable to the house, I'd have to put in a frost-proof foundation, frost-free. Well, that'd be nice if I had frost-free ground. I'd have to move the floor there or something for that, but I'd have to do a frost-proof foundation. That means going down to the frost line, and that's 48 inches, and that's going to add a very high amount of cost. So yeah, that would double the cost of this concrete alone. Is going to be $2,500 just for a 1-foot stem wall. I think I calculated that with a 4-inch slab. I'm gonna have to recalculate for a 5 and the footer. So roughly $2,500, and it's going to be that much more concrete for a 5-inch slab versus the 6. That $2,500, you could easily double that for the frost-proof foundation, and you know it probably could end up easily being $6,000 plus. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go with the footer, slab, and the stem wall around it. Pour it all in one shot. I'll have to make the boards to do that, or do it or use plywood or OSB to make the forms. So that's going to go there. The house be right off of the corner of that, and I'll show you what's going on where I'm going to do it the cabin shed there. A little more details on that. Hey, crazy thing is, I was running here earlier mowing. I did not see these tracks. A big old deer came through here. Yeah, big old deer came through here. All kinds of tracks. Must have came from off in that direction and came walking along here. Yeah, because the prints are going that way. That's kind of cool. More deer tracks. He must have walked along the tree line or something, came in through here, walked off in that direction. Those are some big, yeah, I know that ground, that's pretty much a mud hole, but man, that made some big tracks. That's got to be a nice sized deer. Anyway, it's neither here nor there for this purposes, but got the stumps out, got those holes filled in, took out that pesky stump in front of that shed that has been bugging me since day one for 2 years now, and that's finally out of the way. I got scraping and filling that hole, but I'm probably going to move that whole shed to the back. Get these stumps cleared out, get this firewood racks moved. That'd be next weekend, depending on what I got going on. That's all oak there. The next time I have a backhoe or one of my own, clear all these stumps out. That's to the, there's a stump or two there, and several stumps along there. There's probably close to 24 stumps in here I gotta clean out in this section alone. And then I'll probably plant that in maybe with white pine, something a little nicer. But yeah, I'm gonna get that moved to the spot I cleared a cabin for the cabin shed. That was the first part of the video. I saw that earlier, and I'm gonna go into a little more detail on what that is going to be like when I get the slab poured for that. Okay, now this is where the cabin shed is going to go, right behind those trees, just for, you know, a little wind blockage, and you get a little more coolness in the summer when you're just hanging out there or something, you know, like in front of it, you know, give a little more shade, afternoon shade. When it grows up, it's going to have all kinds of shade over there, so it'll be relatively cool for storage. Try to keep it cool in the morning, and then the high afternoon sun. In the summertime, it's still going to get hot, but these trees are all going to grow. I'm not going to limb them up at all like I did that section over there. I'm not going to limb it up, mainly for more privacy reasons. Just have room for snowmobiles and lawn tractors to get through there. Let all that grow for shade. So take you around to the back side of where that's going to go. So this is from the reverse angle of where it's going to go. Yeah, I kind of came at an angle, didn't realize that when I scraped off that spot there, but I tried to level it out the best I could. You know, didn't do all that great, but as you can see, that's looking straight at the road. That's, you know, getting close to the 650, 700 foot mark away. But yeah, this is going uphill towards the truck. So I'll put it down at ground level so you can see about how much that changes. Yeah, so I'm going to put that here more or less squared off. I might put that at an angle. I might do it that way. and then just maybe if I have to, I'll put a French drain around it, you know, like a ditch, and then just put in some good sized stone. I can always do that for drainage around it to divert the water. That's probably what I'll do around the slab. So yeah, it's going to get a 5-inch thick slab because of the weight. It's going to have rebar, and yeah, so you could, oh, actually this tree will help grow and provide some shade in there. You want to make it a hangout spot. You know, you have your, it's going to be a storage shed, you know, legally and technically it's going to be a storage shed. So yeah, you could have all your party supplies there, bring it out. You could have a good old party there. There's a fire pit, an old stone firing with like field stone or stuff you dig up out of the ground next to that crumpled remains of the canopy I had. Storm took that out. So you could spread out all through here and have a real nice party area. And you could have your party goods all set up over here, you know. This is to give you a better visual of what I was talking about. Picture these. Well, obviously, you know, that's not going to be overlap. They're going to be it's going to be a butt joint there. And 16 feet from here to there, like outside dimensions, because all I can do is 8-foot lumber, and that'll be 2 4x6 beams joined in the middle on top of 4x4 posts, which these will be cut down into the 2-foot posts that I need, give or take, depending on the actual placement of the block. And the highest one is going to be 2 feet. The highest point one, like I talked about earlier. And then this back beam is going to be on top of the beam that goes along the sides. So this back beam, both of these, is going to go on top of the beam that goes along the side. So that's how that's going to look. Picture that. A good 8 feet on top of that. So then the air conditioner can clear if we need to pull it out of the garage for whatever reason. But that permanent one is going up. Hopefully be ready before next winter next year. This is winter 2019. Hopefully it'll be all set and done before then, and get this moved over into that. So, but why am I doing it this way? Well, mainly the money. Yeah, it's going to be like twice the work and almost as much materials for the walls, but it's what I can afford to do, and this is the quickest way. And it's going to be like some kind of side skirting, almost like a mobile home. I might do that with 2x4s all the way to the ground and plywood. Make like a short little wall. We'll see how it looks when get a better idea of what I want to do for skirting after this is all put together. Here we go, out the driveway. Got a manual mode, 4-wheel drive, minimize wheel spin. Click it down the 4th. This is all downhill, so I shouldn't have to worry about getting stuck too easily. There's a soft spot on the right. And I'll pack it in good, that kind of washed out. And here's the driveway.